So the new film, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, is now in cinemas, and it was directed by Matthew Vaughn, who is one of my heroes. I know I say that all the time, but it's true. It's just a coincidence that they keep asking me, for some reason, to talk to people that I greatly admire. And I'll be honest, I'm worried that I'm going to run out of heroes. If you don't know who Matthew Vaughn is, he was the director of Stardust and Kick-Ass and X-Men First Class and now the Kingsman films. I have loved everything he has done for very, very different reasons. I think he has such passion behind what he does. I will save my thoughts on the new Kingsman film for another video because I think I've got too much to say to combine it with this. So please now enjoy the conversation I got to have with Matthew Vaughn. And just so you know, before it starts, he had like a Kingsman branded cast on his foot. That'll make more sense in a minute. What's with the shoe?
I nearly lost 2 toes a week ago.
Holy shit.
And smashed them. So I've got chopped up sausages for feet.
So they've gone, we can get a branding deal out of this. So I'm a massive fan of the things that you've done. Ever since I saw Kick-Ass, I could feel the passion coming through the screen. I think that makes me like it more. Like I can tell how much love is behind it.
Right.
And it seems like the stuff that you make has a sort of postmodern, sort of self-aware effect to it, and then throughout the film, it sort of becomes more and more like we can stand on our own. We don't need to reference other things anymore.
Yes.
Why is that a thing that you tend to do? Because it happens in Kingsman and in Kick-Ass.
Not by design.
Right. Okay.
So in the sense that you're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Postmodern sounds a bit wanky me saying it,
sure,
but it is. It's. When I read the comic of Kick-Ass, I thought, oh, this is a brilliant way of subverting all the superhero tropes and having fun with it. And I felt the spy world needed it. I was watching some of the older Bond movies and with my kids, and they were loving them.
I grew up on those movies.
Yeah, and I just thought, where's the spies can be fun, but what I also do, which is really no one really picks up on this. I really make it quite grounded on an emotional level. I think it's really important that you care about the characters and you feel that they're in jeopardy and their pain and their joy.
Even when something ridiculous is happening.
Yeah, when it's ridiculous, you've got to have it like, even there's a scene with Merlin which really has a big reaction from people. But it's pretty crazy what he's doing, but you're still, oh my God, hold on, what's going on?
Yeah.
And the postmoderns, I don't know where it comes from. It'll run out soon and then I think I do have to start evolving and doing it less can't help but make it fun. Look, I think the world's miserable right now. People need some fun. And when I watched Guardians, I was like, bollocks, I can't go and do my space movie now.
Oh, is that what you wanted?
I wanted to do a sci-fi and a Guardians, actually the Flash Gordon idea in my head was very similar to what Guardians was. And everyone was like saying, you're going to make a better movie than the Sam Jones one. I was like, what are you talking about? It was great.
Yeah.
I said, it was camp and fun. There's nothing wrong with that. And I do think in film, fun seems to be a bad word, and actually fun's harder to create than drama. A solid, heavy drama, it's quite obvious tonally where you're going. But when you're going fun, it's hard. It's really hard. That's why I have real respect for comedians as well, because to be funny is really difficult. Yeah. And you either are or you're not. It's scary. So you put people are either going to laugh at your joke or they don't, and it's pretty brave to get up there.
Yeah, I think that you've said before that you think that some of the Oscars stuff isn't the way that you would have it be, and I think it's a shame that things like comedies and stuff really don't get.
Guardians was it's a proper film. It doesn't get any recognition, And I'm not saying the dramas aren't good movies, but I think cinema needs to. If I was running the Oscars and running the business, you've got to start celebrating the bigger movies because that's what gets people into the cinema, and
I'll be
and
annoyed
they will go back.
If Chris Nolan doesn't win for directing this year.
I'm the only guy that hasn't seen Dunkirk yet.
Oh wow!
Because I haven't had the time. I don't want to watch it on TV,
Obviously
I need to try and see it on IMAX. And but I agree, he paints a big picture, and therefore you don't feel ripped off going to the cinema. I also think they've got to make all the food and everything cheaper. I think it's just ridiculous how expensive it is nowadays. When I was a kid, like French Connection, that was a very commercial film, not fun, but it was commercial, even like Lawrence of Arabia. But they were big cinematic experiences, and you want to watch them again. A lot of these films have won Oscars.
Oh, I never.
You're not thinking I need to watch that again, or it's on TV that you watch it for 5 minutes, and then you're like, oh God, I've just left. I've been here for an hour. What am I doing? So And I think those films should be celebrated more.
So I'm an aspiring filmmaker myself, and something that I've learned very quickly is that things go wrong all the time.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you had something maybe from this movie or from Kick-Ass or from the first Kingsman where you can recall that you're like, oh, that was a horrible day on set, and maybe it didn't fall apart, but like you improvised on set and worked it out. Have you got anything like that in mind?
God, I think it's like asking a woman, can they remember the childbirth? They
Sure.
block it out very quickly.
It's not just like that, I don't think.
No, meaning that there are some pretty painful experiences, but then you get something so great at the end that you forget about it. We lost 2 days of filming on Kingsman 1 because they'd made Colin's smoking jacket too tight.
Right.
And I went, you look ridiculous, you look like a clown. And everyone's like, oh, it's a jacket. And I went, he's meant to be the best tailor as well as the best spy. He can't look like he's wearing like a clown jacket. So everybody, including Colin, thought I was crazy, saying, okay, we're not filming today, let's go rehearse something else and go remake a smoking jacket. So that was, that's
and I know as well, on the first one, you had a lot of problem with the water room.
Although that was scary, actually, again, okay, that was probably the worst days.
So you thought, I'll do it again for the second one?
Yeah, well, we knew now to do it manually. Yeah, we had real problems because literally the set was, the way you do that, we built the set above a pool,
right,
and then you lower the set in,
right,
and it gives the illusion of water, coming up. And on Kingsman 1, it was computerized mechanics, and it was meant to go down 3 feet, and then we stopped and just did the first lines, because also we didn't want to get the set to get too wet, because you can't reset. On action, it went down 20 feet. And it was meant, and it just broke and went. So none of us prepared to it. The cameras, we weren't even wearing waterproof. So we all went
just lost
down
everything
with it. Actors, cameras,
we had
sound,
to recast.
mics.
No one knows.
Yeah, and the panic of all of us, because you're all on, because and we were pulling the guys out, and it was really scary. It helped the scene because the next 3 days they were. When the water came, they weren't acting. They were like, oh my God, is it going to happen again? So it was, the coordination of that was tough. So doing it again with Colin, who doesn't like being underwater or in small spaces, I felt sorry for him, but he was brave enough to do it. But it was more contained. It was easier because one guy, and it was a much smaller set. Because that was a big set that we were in Kingsman 1. The other one was about the size of this room, so it wasn't that bad.
This is the first sequel you've ever done. Like you sort of basically set up Kick-Ass and then put it on its way. X-Men, you brought that back in a way and then sent it on its way.
Yeah.
Why Kingsman? Why did you stick around for this one?
Because the other movies, I'd felt I'd done it. I was proud of the movies. I didn't have. You just said the word when we met. I didn't have the passion. I wasn't burning, thinking I've got to make another X-Men. I've got to make another Kick-Ass. And I, co-wrote Days of Future Past, and the more I wrote it, the more I just thought this is a great big idea, but as a director, it wasn't going to challenge me enough. And basically, I learned a lot on Kick-Ass 2 that I do have a weird warped mind, and asking Jeff to replicate my tone was an unfair task on him. So the fact that there was going to be another Kingsman, I couldn't let go of it, and I really enjoyed making it. I've made some really great friends on the set and behind the scenes, and I was like, I have to do this. And I felt, and I was scared, and that's I think the day that you're not nervous making a movie and not respecting how difficult it is when there are certain directors who I really respect and have been inspirational to me, but their films, they're just, you can feel they're going through the paces and it's the motions, and it's just not, their movies don't grab you anymore. So the day I don't find it scary or I'm not learning something, I will definitely retire.
That's a great lesson to leave it on. Thank you very much for your time.
Cool.
I appreciate it, man.
Cool. Thank you.